All right, man.
All right. Welcome to Drew versus the World. It's a podcast about love, laughter, and life. Today we have a very special guest, NiGE. What's up, man?
Man, I'm chilling, man. How are you doing, Drew?
I am doing very well. Nobody's ever asked me that. You're very
Are you
dumb.
kidding me?
No, I'm doing very well.
The world is so cold. I had to say that to some people the other day. I was like walking in with like a speaker into like a TGI Fridays or something like that.
Okay.
And like it was one of those things where it was a train of like family, you know what I'm saying, coming out, you know, nice, whatever. And then there was the last guy. And, you know, it was that good 10 foot distance, you know. And I could tell he had a pause. He looked at me.
Yeah.
And he just let the door go.
I was like, I know where this is going.
And I was like, bro, and I just joked with him. I was like, yeah, what's up, bro? I know you saw, I saw you thought about it. He was like, yeah. And I was like, man, cold world, man. The world's so cold, you know.
But at what point do you think like somebody should hold open the door? How many people until they go inside? Should they wait for everybody to go?
My thing is, he wasn't holding it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He was the last dude in the train. So, okay. I mean, okay, to answer your question, get off my personal soapbox. Get out of my feelings. To answer your question directly, so how many people? I mean, it's the South. So if you did it in the North, you just look like a doof.
No.
So you're only going to do it in the South. So usually the typical relay is if 3 people go and there's more people to go, another person's going to hold that door for you. Mm-hmm. You're going to be like, all right. Or sometimes you can even like bestow it on them. Like, oh, okay, now, okay, hold this door. And you know.
You got it? You got it? Okay, yeah. Cool. And then you go through.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but 3, you know what I'm saying? Or else you're not nice down here.
I mean, I'm originally from New York, so it's like holding the door is a new concept. Even saying your please and thank yous is kind of like, I would say, a more of a Southern trope.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you don't hear a thank you in New York, you're like, okay, that's everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually a pretty charming thing when you see that whole interaction. Mm-hmm. I mean, the respect is there. Yes. I feel like in the South, historically, that just wasn't shit going on. So you just was like, yo, let's entertain ourselves by talking to each other. And also probably was less frequent new people that you saw or frequently that you saw other people. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking like maybe things more spread out, rural. So, you'd be like,
yeah, what's up?
What's up?
What's up? And that's another thing too. Just coming down here and going to school here, everybody was like, "Hey, what's happening? Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" Like, what the
you're like, leave me alone.
like, what's up? Like, you got a problem? You got a problem? Like, what's happening? It's like, but folk rapper, hip hop enthusiast.
I love hip hop. Yeah, love music.
Music enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I heard from your when I read a Creative Loafing article that was done on you, and one thing you said is folk rap is about everyday life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can you explain what you meant by that? Or then kind of
just spilled water on myself. No, and if I want to write, no. This is my answer. This is my answer. I spilled water on myself.
Okay.
Makes me think about how imperfect we are.
Mm-hmm.
I write a song that's called I Spill Water on Myself, right?
Okay.
But it's about how imperfect we are. So it's like taking like very like simple, like taking like complex ideas or like things about life, you know what I'm saying? And everyday living, and then, kind of putting them in a simple way.
Yeah.
Usually it's to have fun. Sometimes I get to the nitty gritty, but I couldn't even name you a song where I'm not talking about having fun or just making the best of a situation. So
what's having fun for you? What's something that you're like into that you enjoy?
So what do I enjoy? You know what? It's funny because before we started this, you were talking about being an introvert, and I realized I am an introvert to a large extent. So a lot of fun for me is being excuse me.
Let it out, man. Let it out.
Sorry, I'm burping out here. A lot of fun for me is just kind of like being in my own kind of world, having the ability to create And then kind of being able to like explore through other media. I love movies, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love music. I love interacting with people. I love women. Like I'm not no like womanizer tip, but like I like kind of like being around like women, like talking
energy.
to them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, those were always like more of my friends in school. Or if I were to sit like in college and stuff, if I were to sit down at the table in the caf, I would sit with women. Cause usually dudes were just talking about like rappers, sports, or like, you know, some type of competitive arena type thing.
Yep.
So like those are the type of things I like to do. Talk about stuff and watch movies. Love hip hop.
Okay.
Who are your favorite like artists?
Thank you.
Is that the first time anybody's asked you that?
First time they asked me that too.
Look at that. You know.
Honestly, and we'll go to another part of this podcast is called Shots Fired, where I ask a bunch of questions, and I always say one question is, "Who's your favorite artist?" And I always preface it with the other part is, it doesn't have to be a singer, it doesn't have to be a songwriter, it doesn't have to be. It can be an artist. It can be somebody that paints, somebody that does like claymation, somebody that's in movies, anything, right? Okay. So I make it to a broader spectrum because I think everything can be art. Yeah. But to answer your question directly, Vincent Van Gogh.
Are you a crazy dude?
Vincent Van Gogh, and just to the fact
think he got the bad rap that he's not really crazy, or what?
I think he's crazy as shit. I think that's what takes artists to have a little bit of non-connectivity to this world, because in actuality what you're seeing is a world within itself in your perspective. So when you create, like for instance, this is the desk because somebody told you it's a desk, right? But an artist sees his desk in 100 different colors, 100 different vibrations, 100 different kind of like, it's a sense of energy that comes off from something else to them that they interpret.
Yo, I love the way you put that, man. I love the way you put that.
Thank you.
So is it a particular... Okay, so you got a lot of artists who are fucking crazy. Yeah. So what about Vincent Van Gogh that makes him your favorite?
Just to kind of the crazy part too. It's the crazy part that I really love, that he has that rap, but he also is like a curator of some of the most expensive art, some of the most innovative art, and some of the most thought-provoking art, because you can sit next to it and it could be 16 people. They all have an interpretation of that art. You know that one, I think he has one where it's like a room. Yep. Isn't it like, I thought I learned that it was like hell. Yep, because everything's melting. I think, is it kind of like red? I might be bugging. Is it like a chair? It's a chair. It's an empty room. Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be purgatory. So yeah, not really hell or heaven. It's that in between. And that's the scariest part of life, is that in between. My guy, man. So it's like that. Yo. So I'm guessing, I don't want to get too off topic of your curation, but I love that. Well, then you like Kanye West, huh? You like Kanye West, huh? So my producer he's a Kanye West fan. I am also a Kanye West fan, but I have a certain era I like him. Yeah. So I like him before 808s and Heartbreak. Before Graduation. Graduation is my favorite album of all time. Get out of here. That's your fucking favorite album. Can I play some albums for you? Nope. Oh. You don't need to. Let me stop. You don't need to. Shooting shots. No, it's okay. You shoot the shots. Shots Fired is coming up later too. But Illmatic, best rap album of all time. No. Blueprint. Blueprint is ill, but nah, bro. I'm from a. So you're Nas fan. You're Nas fan. So you're Nas fan. You're Nas fan. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm a Jay-Z fan too. Okay, man. We the whole Rock Nation, that, man. The whole Rock Nation. Yeah, man. But yo, I like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? I used to be one of them. I had to always ride for my guy, of course. So you know, of course, seems cool. It's easier to whatever. But I do love Jay-Z. I do love his music. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Enough that I did have Tidal for like 3 months. You know what I'm saying? What was it, a free? Yeah. Because that interface is horrible.
I mean, I'm telling. I don't really want to. I'm trying to get
gotcha.
deals.
My fault.
The dude got a big foot.
There
he
you
can
go.
Step on me. Let me stop.
Hey, ants can hold 1,000 times their weight.
Let's get it.
So you just gotta be an ant.
Let's get it, man.
But where are you from originally?
Man, I was born and raised in Charlotte, man.
Okay. What part?
From Charlotte, North Side Charlotte, suburbs near UNCC, Sugar Creek, WT Harris, Malley Creek. Went to Vance, You
went to Vance?
Yeah.
I know a couple. Yeah, I know a couple people that went there.
Where?
You know somebody named? Well, I'm not going to say the name on it. Danny Whiteside.
Danny Whiteside. Yeah, that definitely sounds very hella familiar. I think I do know Danny Whiteside.
Yeah, that's one of my boys. I kind of grew a friendship with when I actually moved to U Club for like a year.
Was that like an apartment complex?
Yeah.
Word.
It's horrible. It's like where all the kids go.
I'm telling you, bro. I mean, shit, yeah.
So what you seen as far as the gentrification of Charlotte and the kind of moving of the people from the respective areas into Charlotte, how have you seen it grow? And what do you think are some of the things that are the negative of and the positive as well?
The fact that your ass was living in Concord is possibly, it could be interpreted as a difficulty because I feel like what is happening is rent is so high in Charlotte. And on top of that, if you're trying to buy a home, there's so many people who are looking to buy a home. So there's that market that you have to compete with. But there's so many people not trying to sell their home because it's like if you have a home in Charlotte is popping. So you're gonna buy that? You're gonna get the money from that, and you're not gonna be able to buy a home in Charlotte.
Correct.
So
you have to move out.
You have to go somewhere else. So it's like people have to displace themselves. I mean, you got a demographic that does that because, you got people turning, in their 50s, 60s, got the kids out the house. They're like, what the heck? But it's just kind of tough. I mean, for people like our age, what I'm saying? You're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, you kind of in that, at least trying to establish yourself. Exactly. It's kind of hard too. And that's what I think about a lot when I think about all the people moving to Charlotte and getting well-paying jobs, but getting into an environment and certain lifestyles where they're not, first of all, they're paying rent. So all these people living here, even if you're making a good wage on whatever, it's hard to own something here. So you're going to be renting, and just in general, depending on where you're living, you're going to be spending a good amount if you're trying to live uptown. Yeah. Say you even work for Bank of America, but you're living uptown. A lot of these people out here are spending most of the money that they're making. So, but at the same time, it's a situation where you can really grow. Like me as an artist, you got all these people, coming in looking for something to get into, looking to see what's popping in the city. And even the business that I run, it's just so many people looking to spend money to be entertained. So
100%. So is it kind of good for you on your side and that's was my next question. Not just the city in general has boomed, but obviously the music scene as well has come to, it's been now in a spotlight because Charlotte is one of the major cities. And I guess one of the major places where people are looking for artists as well. So as far as your music is concerned, how people have been receiving it?
I feel like my music has always been received very well. Wherever I go to perform it, whether I'm performing just with the DJ or with my band, it's received well. I don't even really know what my whole stock really is in the whole equation. But I don't know. I think that being here is more advantageous than being in Atlanta or being in LA or in New York right now. If you're starting
more breathing room.
Yeah, and I feel like, well, I don't know. I ain't gonna knock those other places because those places have like the industry closer. Yep. But I feel like the industry is coming into Charlotte, and as far as like gathering a following and things like that, you have a lot of people who are just kind of looking to be consumers. Yep. It's a big consumer city because it's a lot of people who, like I was just talking about, people are coming here to live this kind of like new urban southern lifestyle where we're going out, we're going out pretty much every night to a brewery after work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a dog. I'm going to pay for everything that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get a good car, a nice car. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure, or if I have kids, I'm going to put them in so like, not even just on that, like, pay level, but even lower than that, like you got people, there's so many, this city thrives off of commerce. It does. Like, so it's like, it's a banking city where people work all the time and then for their leisure, they spend money. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is a perfect place and they're not old, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of young people. So, and I feel like with what I do, I mean, I kind of do like, my music's, when it comes to like the tracks and then when it comes to like me performing with my band, I feel like
you got a band.
Oh yeah. So like,
you play instruments?
You know what? I started playing the harmonica like yesterday. Yeah. But I should have brought it, man. But I can play like two songs on there. But yeah, man, me and my band, we've been playing for like the last 2 years on pretty good. Like there's certain times where we'll just make a run and we'll just set up shows and we'll just do them. A lot of times it's like kind of on like the bar circuit or like kind of like the club circuit. We've been to Harrisonburg, Virginia. We've been to LA. We've done DC, New York.
Like the Chitlin circuit, you ever heard of that?
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's more white, you know what I'm saying? Some of the like the gigs that we do. But you know what? We also do like, I wouldn't say like, well, some of the venues we end up in are like that, but like, I would say our vibe more fits into like the Afro punk experience. Gotcha. So it's like funk fused in with rap, rock, and soul. It's kind of like that quadrifecta, if I can make up a word. You know what I'm saying? Like it's those four corners.
I like that.
So it kind of makes up like that electrifying sound. So I say all that to say it's like there's so many ways that I can and that I have kind of like just marketed myself or just exercise my love for music in this area because you got so many people here that are curious for an experience. So I had a house party.
Yeah, I heard about that. How did that go?
Oh, it was excellent. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. We had my band and a band called Very Monday come through. Okay. And
what's the name of your band?
NiGE Hood and the Folk Rap Band.
Folk Rap Band. Okay.
Yeah. And we did that. So, that was a great experience because it was good to see a lot of new people that I hadn't seen before, kind of like bring that in and make that inviting space. Because a lot of people are looking for a house party experience or a house show experience, which, even myself have only had a few times to even experience myself. So, and we've also like done a listening event for the Weird Awesome EP that also incorporated visuals for each of the songs. So
is this visuals that you got like a Beyonce-esque kind of thing, where it's like every track had like a video component to it? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Exactly. So we did that at Camp North End at Dup and Swat.
Dup and Swat? But it moved to Camp North End now? I thought it was in...
No, they all... You know what? I think that is their main spot, but they were at one time doing both. They were in Camp North End and on the Plaza. Okay. But now they're just at that Camp North End space. Okay. But I had it there, and then we're going to be basically traveling with that same format of projecting the videos and also featuring other like feature films just as pop-ups for people to come out to and just basically enjoy. So, in these last weeks of summer, we want to pull up to Freedom Park.
Nice.
You know, we also want to pull up, you know, to some other inside venues that just are, you know, a place where people can come out and just vibe, enjoy the type of music that I made and the project and the visuals, but also enjoy like, you know, a good movie in themselves, you know, at the same time. So
when you go to Freedom Park, what is your kind of, what do you think of, do you have like a projector that's going to project this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So you heard Dave Chappelle when he did a little, it was like he was going around trying to do his new hour when he just came back from Africa, and he was just taking a microphone and an amp and kind of like doing his thing, like comedy in front of like, I don't know, like Battery Park in New York and stuff like that. Is that kind of like the perspective you're trying to do? Like just go out there and just do something, or is it more like a scheduled event?
Well, they will be scheduled, but what I want to do is that format. Okay. Basically.
Like everybody started hearing you and then they start kind of like correlate, like
no, kind of like going to certain congregated spaces, but announce it.
Nice.
You know, let people know that that's where it will be, or that it's going to be at this location, you know.
And as far as your other business, you were saying before we started the podcast that you have a music bingo business, and I think it was I forgot the other one, but what got you into that space as well? Because you said people need to be entertained. So what got you other than that?
Oh, well, so I was working corporate and was reached out to by a good friend of mine, man, named Chris. Shout out to my homie. And we were basically, he was like, you know, he was working for a company that did events at bars and restaurants.
Gotcha.
And they were looking for hosts. So shortly after I started doing that for a few months, along with the job that I was doing, I got let go corporate because I was late, like 5 minutes late, pretty much twice a week, every week. I ain't gonna lie. Lasted like 2 years though. You know, they like me. You know, I wasn't.
That's a pretty
that's like if you late, you know what I'm saying? But they let you go 2 years and you know, you must be doing something right. Even though you're doing something wrong. Anyway. But to be honest, man, I just didn't really have the priority to do something that I didn't feel like was ever really gonna change unless I had to do some kind of like social networking, puzzle piecing, you know what I'm saying? Which I just didn't have really the interest to do. So kind of like when that happened, kind of doubled down with my my partner, and then we decided to start a company that provided the same service. Yep. And it's been going pretty well. So not only just like music bingo, we also do trivia, karaoke, at a lot of different you know, restaurants and bars throughout the city. You know,
it's dope.
So it's allowing us to kind of have the free time, but also like the control of our own resources, you know.
So, all right. So we have a section here at Drew vs. the World called Shots Fired. I think I plugged it a couple times already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you multiple questions. First couple of questions are going to be like softball pitches. Very easy, very simple, very to the point. And then the last couple are going to be a little bit more thought-provoking.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Shots fired.
Let's get it.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Black.
What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Chicken or beef?
Chicken.
Favorite type of music?
Hip hop.
Yeah. Favorite artist? This is the question.
Nas.
For one place you want to visit?
Asia. Real broad. Somewhere there.
Okay. Place you would go in apocalypse.
I ain't going really nowhere, bro. I mean, just wherever it feels comfortable.
Okay.
You know.
So the last podcast I did, I said it would be somewhere that you probably feel safe, like somewhere that has a good amount of resources, someplace that you would deem as like a home space for you.
I mean, I would stay at my house, bro.
Okay.
I'm one of them people that, I mean, unless it's like the apocalypse is just things around just ravaging through everybody's personal place, or if it's like, okay, it's the end of the world, like power's out. I don't know. It's like I just don't really feel like I'm trying to like panic.
Okay.
I just want to like
chill.
Like I don't really think that's ever gonna happen. You know, the end of the world. We might die. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to do what I want to do till I die.
Okay.
So I try to let certain things affect me as little as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If, you know.
That makes sense. So just like a chill, you just want to be a chill environment.
Yeah, definitely nowhere where it's like panicking.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm not really trying to be around that energy.
Who would you say would be your celebrity crush?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Yo, watch Jazzy. I think she's intelligent and just a very intelligent, beautiful person.
Who is Watch Jazzy?
She's got her Instagram is Watch Jazzy. I don't even really know what her full name is, but she's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that she's real dope.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she's pretty cool.
If you had a talk show, who would be your first guest? Alive or dead?
If I had a talk show, who would be my first guest? Dang, that's crazy. Can I put like a lineup? Like,
you put a lineup.
All right, man. We gonna have David Ruffin.
Okay.
Ike Turner. Jesus. Tupac.
Okay.
And Biggie.
They're on the same stage?
Just kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Like a panel discussion?
Yeah, maybe talk about some certain issues that are going on in today's society. I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. Those are some of the first people. I just feel like if I were to have a talk show and it was the first episode, those would be a good, I guess, clickbait, type, you know what I'm saying? So then people would see the next episode.
Exactly.
So like, then I would go into like other, maybe like different people. But yeah, I think that I would be interested to know kind of like with Big, it's like, I feel like so many people spoke for Big. You know what I'm saying?
So to the follow-up question, and I think you was about to touch point on it, what would be the first question you asked them?
Okay. So, to kind of link what else, I feel like a lot of those people have people that spoke for them. So I would just kind of like ask them, you know what? I don't even really have an answer. I don't even know what I'd ask them.
Maybe who they are?
Maybe I'd ask them. I mean, I guess true. Like there's certain like people like with Ike. I feel like Ike, he fucked up because he was an abuser. Ike also is credited for recording the first rock and roll songs. So it's like, there's a lot of depth to certain individuals that I just am always kind of like curious to like understand. And I don't know what the leading question would be for that person. Like Jesus, I feel like a lot of people have spoken for him, but there had to have been something important about him. So I don't know what I'd ask him, but I just want to understand a little bit from his perspective. And yeah, man. Same thing for Big. Like I feel like Pac, he has a lot of sound bites. You know what I'm saying? So you have a good understanding. Not to knock that. I might have even put Pac in that list, but that was kind of cliche. I don't necessarily want to talk to Pac. I love Pac, you know what I'm saying? But Big, you know what I'm saying? I might want to talk because there's certain people that, like, Puffy, like you want to kind of know, like, what was Puffy like? What was it like working with him? Like, were you really like making money? You know what I'm saying? Or not to like link the two, you know what I'm saying? But just, you trying to understand the difference. I feel like Biggie's whole image was a lot better curated than Pac. So certain things you kind of want to know. And that movie ain't do no justice.
Not at all. Not at all.
It
was notoriously bad. Who would play you in a movie?
Shoot, wouldn't be Michael B. Jordan, because I was going to ask you about that too, bro. We was talking about actors. Joe Budden, man, he kind of like put me on this, so I can't just take credit, but he made me think about like, he said Michael B. Jordan is a great face actor. They tell him God make expressions. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say nothing. He had like 3 lines. You know what I'm saying? But like, just go like, look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I kind of think, like, I'm trying to think. There's different times where he has been in movies, but like the only movie I can really think of him doing the most talking, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
But what's it called? Chronicle. That's the first time I noticed him.
I do like that.
I liked him in that movie too.
That was a good movie.
He was a lot more like kind of like a chipper, talkative type guy, but in everything else, he's brooding. He's more of a brooding kind of character, and you don't get too much.
The first two that come to me is Black Panther, of course. And,
you know what I'm saying?
And even all the Creeds.
Yeah, Creed, you know what I'm saying?
Like my father and
his emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, so like that totally didn't answer your question, but I just want people to think critically. But I feel like I don't even know, because I feel like by the time I'm grown or worth having a movie made about me, there'll be other people out there. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think it's really a wavy, light skinned talent pool out there of actors that I know of right now. I know there's like Trevor Jackson or something like that. He's a wavy, light skinned dude. But like other ones, it's like, what you got? It's a lot of chocolate dudes out there. So I don't really know, like,
it's like
who's gonna be me?
Actor.
Who am I gonna tell you? Alan Payne? You know what I'm saying? He's like 50. You know what I'm saying?
How about that guy from you watching Insecure?
Yeah, dude. You talking about the dude that screws her Molly?
Yeah.
He a little tall, bro. He's like 6'7". Like,
is he in real life?
I'm like 5'8", 5'9". He looked like a tall. Maybe. He's just not that he's not that like, he's like, yeah, so you want to do this? So like I talk like this all the time. I don't know if he's anti-key. I feel like my personality is a little like spazzy.
Okay.
Anti-key. So if you find Black Jim Carrey.
Ooh, Black Jim Carrey.
Then that's who will play me.
The only Black Jim Carrey I know is Marlon Wayans.
I think he don't get his props. He don't get his props, and he's a good actor. And I feel like, I'm kind of like, part of my actual self is kind of like crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, or at least on the outer look. You know what I'm saying. So it'd have to be somebody who'd have,
like you. It's just like kind of all over the place.
Like that energy, that kind of like the energetic personality.
Gotcha.
And then, I don't know. I don't know if there are that many actors, well, at least Black actors that are kind of like, I feel like Donald Glover is, but like kind of like outwardly enigmatic.
Yeah.
And even when I was thinking about this, it's like, Donald Glover's been taking some big, what am I trying to say that? I've been saying he's been in the movies, he's been taking big, eventful roles. But I want to see him do a movie like he's in Atlanta. I want to see him in like a drama. I want to see him do a Shia LaBeouf run. You know, when they put Shia LaBeouf in like Disturbia and like, like put him in like a thriller, put him in like Transform, but let him be him. Don't let him be like, I didn't watch the Star Wars one, but it's like,
oh, you mean, okay. Yeah.
I just want you to let him be like weirdo Donald Glover.
He would have to write it.
Then let him write it,
because I think one thing that they can do, and it's completely off the questions we had, but I think one thing that he can do, and I saw it a lot in Community, was that he can attach himself to somebody. Like he attached himself to the Indian guy on that show, and then create his own character within that microcosm of them two. Then have an outward facing that he was the jock and everything like that. And there's another. So he had almost three personalities that he was creating within that little circle. I don't know. Donald Glover has always been like a kind of a enigma to me, because I always think that he has the power to be as inspirational and as powerful as Jamie Foxx, but he's like, for some reason, he's just been crushed down to the level of like, okay, he can't explode and be like everything he wants to be because again, he has to write those roles because they're not picking him up for those roles. They're not writing stuff for him.
They're treating him like they're making him an action figure, I feel. They're like, here's Donald Glover in this. Here's Donald Glover in this. Here's Donald Glover in this. We don't give a fuck about what we put him in, but here he is.
But like, do you know he was Charles Gambino at one time?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
He's also a rapper.
So like, I feel like I'm not critiquing him. He's probably getting some bread.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Star Wars, you get bread.
You do not say. I wouldn't really say no to Disney. I wouldn't, because if you're doing Disney, you're gonna still be at Comic-Con. You're never gonna leave. You're never gonna leave, and Comic-Con industry is only gonna get fucking humongous. You're never gonna leave Star Wars. But I'm trying to think of how I know we were talking about like actors but enigmatic. But even with Donald Glover, I don't think there's no black Jake Gyllenhaal. They're out there. I'm just saying I want to see somebody who is like crazy, but great. But they don't, first of all, there's not enough. Well, I won't say there's not enough, but they don't greenlight, I think, enough role. Oh, I'll give you one. Lakeith Stanfield. That's my nigga. He is one.
Okay.
That's my nigga.
Okay.
Cat Williams behaving is to me that. Williams, if Cat Williams was like
an actor.
Like if he was an actor, and I feel like if he didn't run into the trouble and maybe have the tendencies that got him to that trouble, I feel like he could have been like a fucking goat.
Yeah, he's great. He melts into a role very well.
I'm telling you.
Very well.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, and maybe this is me getting in my unknown militants, it seems to be less spaces for them type of actors. I want to bring up Columbus Short, but that motherfucker fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I like Lil Walter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I need that type of energy with some of these actors. Like I love David Alawe.
David Alan Grier?
That's way David, the dude who played Selma, Martin Luther King and Selma.
Okay,
I'm bad. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. I like him, but he's soft. You know what I'm saying? I want somebody crazy and edgy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what Denzel did to people. I don't feel like Denzel was this guy, but I feel like he gave that. He provided that in like the lukewarm 90s movies. You know what I'm saying?
And even now, the Equalizer, he's like an old man. He's like the black version of what's his name? Taken guy.
Liam Neeson. Yeah.
He's like, I'm older, but I still can kill you. Number one person that I see is like the most, I guess, transformative, and people are giving his props now, but I always thought he was a great actor, is Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
super transformative from like when he was in Bill Ted's Most Excellent Adventure to now he was in this movie called Never Be My Maybe.
He was.
Have you ever seen that?
He was in Never Be My Maybe.
Yeah.
Watch that. That's with the two Asian. I know. I did not want to say that because it sucks that I don't know the names.
Ali Wong
dude from
and Daniel Park.
And from Fresh Off the Boat.
One of my great show. But he's in that movie. Spoiler alert. But he plays one of the most off the rip roles that you probably will ever see him play. And you're like, is that Keanu Reeves? And he's killing it.
Yo, I can't wait, man. I feel like Keanu Reeves is one of those, like, sleeper whether cells. He realized it or not, he's always been confident. He's like an assassin actor. I'm not saying he's an assassin actor. Like he's gonna like. He's not Daniel Day-Lewis.
No, he's not going to be like, he's not going to be for 6 months sleeping outside to learn.
But even to the effect, he's not going to do anything that's too abstract as far as his actions.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He has a certain type of.
I would say he picks roles superbly, because just even with like, how do you pick? First of all, Bill and Ted, at your young age, you pick it gets greenlit for a second one, and 20, 30 years later, it gets greenlit again for a third.
Yep.
You know, you do The Matrix, and wow, I'm thinking you do 3 in a row. And look, what do you know? 15 years later, you get greenlit for a fourth. And you also pick, Wow, what do you know, John Wick? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who are you?
Nobody's had that kind of run in a long time. Even with the I think the closest to his kind of like the theatric kind of contribution would be maybe what's his name from James Bond.
Are you telling me Daniel Craig?
Not Daniel Craig.
I'm
talking about like Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh, Sean Connery?
Sean Connery, yes.
Oh, yeah. We are forgetting some of them goats. But you know, like, I feel like back then you had some of those, not to take away, but I feel like you had just like certain just actors that just were like the bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Sean Connery's great. Jack Nicholson's great. You know what I'm saying?
He's a monster. He's also a transform, like a guy that you're talking about. Like you wanted a drama, you want a comedy, he's another one that went into comedy like his later ages. Like he was like, now I'm the old man that's crazy. Like
now, like I can't intimidate you with my crazy. I'm just like,
he's like, oh wow, that man's crazy.
It's funny though. Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah,
you know. It's like, I feel like, Robert De Niro, there's a lot of movies he's made recently that I don't care to see.
The Fockers movies.
Yeah, you know what? But I did see like the first two.
The first two was bomb.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But
like Ben Stiller is also another one that's kind of like a goat as far as
I feel like certain people that their runs, you can't deny it. Like,
so to that point, what is, and also to the question, what is one of your favorite movies?
Juice.
And
I know that's kind of left field from everything we talked about, but Juice is like when they say like, what's your favorite food? And I say a cheeseburger.
Okay.
Preferably with bacon. Because it's everything that I just like and it's just digestible. I like hip hop, you know what I'm saying? I like history, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So I've always been kind of like fascinated with looking at like, you know, and I think in my coming up, I just kind of like, I don't know what's the word. I
idolize?
I definitely idolized and I made it iconic in my kind of like psyche.
Gotcha.
That whole 90s germination of hip hop and like the dress and like the hair and
the cars.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I just loved it. You know? Yeah. So I think that it was that. And it was just kind of like when I saw that as a child. So it's just that. But
best line ever at the end of the movie.
You got the juice now.
You got the juice now. I was like,
yeah, man.
I was like, really?
Yeah, bro. And it was that same square dude from like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, my mother signs herself in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, what? Like, yo, dude, he had to hit him with like the nigga, I just my friend, nigga, like I slap the shit at you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but also at the same time, I like Cadillac Records.
Okay,
I love that. Because back to loving music, and I mean, when I say hip hop as my favorite music, yeah, that's true. But also, I love blues. I love rock and roll. You know, typically on the blues side and funk, you know what I'm saying? So I love Cadillac Records because it provided like, you know, a superficial, like kind of like blueprint to like the germination or like the evolution of those music styles, you know?
Have you, was there a movie with Barry Gordy in it?
Dreamgirls. I mean, that's
I think there was, because they had like their 100th anniversary or 50th anniversary or something recently. Who's Barry Gordy with?
Oh no, Barry Gordy was the CEO of Motown.
Like so Motown had Motown had their 50th anniversary,
which is crazy because it seems like it's been longer than 50 years. It seems like it's been forever.
Exactly,
you know
and he's been from Michael Jackson to Jackson 5 to like he's had some of the most prolific people ever in the midst of his records.
Recording.
And so let's go last question. Who do you idolize as far as the music entertainment is concerned, as far as like the moguls?
That's a good question. Damn, I wish you had sent me that one earlier, like so I could just like think on
this
that.
Is impromptu, very like off top of your head. I'd rather get your first answer than your best answer.
Shit, man. The Moguls, man. It's kind of like it's
you can say Suge Knight. You can say Suge Knight.
No, okay. I mean, no. It's just a streamlined appreciation. It's of so many of them and the qualities that all of them possess. Like sometimes I truly feel. Sometimes I get a little bummed at the fact of how much I like curating acts and the way that a show goes and music as a product. But at the same time, I am the product.
Exactly.
So like, so that kind of gives you an idea of how much I relate to like ditties or even like Leonard Chess from Chess, Cadillac Records was about chess records. So like, Leonard Chess, fucking Russell Simmons, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Suge Knight, and definitely for like riding for your artist. Because Suge Knight made sure a lot of things happen for people. You know what I'm saying?
Sleep would be nothing without Suge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's why he definitely, is giving it up to Suge, like on his new album and stuff. I feel like I'm so inspired by that. I'm just inspired by like, you know what I'm saying, the people who like to get busy because I can't stop moving. I can't stop working. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes a toll on being an artist, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm working on now. Just kind of like getting the whole team together, getting the whole kind of like process locked down. But I love it. So when it comes down to the Moguls, like some of the people I mentioned, I mean, but there are some people that I don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? I won't say who they are.
Don't say who they are.
No, but I'm going to say that I don't fuck with kind of people that just kind of like use talent, you know what I'm saying? Or don't really have too much. A lot of the people that I don't necessarily fuck with kind of like just kind of come from corporate and niche themselves into.
I think I know you're talking about.
Well, let me stop. No, but I just don't fuck with like, coming down from corporate and niching yourself like, oh, I'm a hip hop mogul, or I focus in hip hop and I make deals happen in hip hop.
Yep.
I like people who you don't even have to be from the streets, but you got to come from loving hip hop.
Exactly. That
you know what I'm saying?
Your base. Because at the end of the day, what you're going to do is you're going to want it to sustain it to its maximum level. So as for the question, you brought up you being a product, you're going to curate your music because you know that you're the thing that's being sold out there. You're the thing that you're going to be, portraying and putting out there. That's the most. But quick question for the final of Shots Fired. And this kind of goes into, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Dang, yo. I used to think it was like to hear what people were thinking, but that seems like a lot of thinking on my part. And you'll never change that shit now, even if you know what they're thinking.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, thought a superpower, dang. You know what? Dang. That's tough, man. If I had a superpower, it would be like a way to kind of like, oh, I know. It would be to kind of like, it's like, okay, the superpower of stealth. To just kind of like do shit, set shit up. You know what I'm saying? And even if when I imagine the superpower of stealth, I mean that sometimes it comes in handy that I'm super fast to, you know what I'm saying, or I can't be seen, or I can change the way that I look, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But the power of stealth to really kind of like sabotage the regime type shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So be like in the midst of things, but be unseen. Kind of like you always kind of like, you could drop yourself into any situation and just kind of blend in. Gotcha.
And then like kind of like, do my bidding without leaving too much of a footprint.
So you need to watch this show called Black Girl Sketch Show on HBO. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, I've seen some sketches.
So have you seen the episode with the Nicole Byer, and she was like this girl, her name was Trinity, and she was like very unassuming woman, and she just walks around, and that's her power, is that she can walk around in any situation and be unassuming. Like nobody thinks she's like a threat, but she's a CIA agent.
Whoa, I gotta check that. No. I haven't seen that particular sketch, but yeah, that is like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Just like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. What about you?
Oh, thank you. Nobody's ever asked me that. Super speed.
Super speed. Yeah. Does stealth have something to do with that?
Well, yes and no. My reason for super speed is I want to get enough done in my life that I have no regrets. So
you'll never.
I will.
Let me stop. I don't mean to put that on you,
no.
Bobby. Yeah.
I always my thing is like I always have regrets, of course, but I want to lessen. Don't put that voodoo on me, big Ricky Bobby. But what you call? I always. I get you.
You got me. Yeah.
But I want to limit it as much as possible. So super speed, I'll be able to do this for my family. I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to do this for, friends. I'll be there on time. And I'll also be able to create my goals and stuff like that and complete them as fast as possible.
Yo, you know what? That makes me think about the movie Click, which I think he fucked up. I didn't even really watch the movie, but I know the concept. But I think if you really had that, maybe he had to learn the rules of it.
Exactly. I would definitely read the manual.
Just read the shit. But he could have had it all. You could have had it all. You fucked it up, bro. Because that is perfect. It's like, yo, I'm going to put this on pause. But I mean, maybe not. You can get carried away. But
it's always going to be a monkey's paw. So you're always gonna like, I want $100, and then you get 100 like deer or something like that. You always gotta like be, and this goes with life. You gotta be exact in what you want. And I think that's a lot of things. What happens with like when you get a genie, you get 3 wishes. That's how you get fucked.
You know what?
Exact in what you want.
Can I be candid with you?
Go ahead.
I have anxiety that I don't know exactly what I want,
and that's 100% of everybody. Everybody has anxiety from everything, and it's good that as Black men are now kind of like getting into that. But it's really, again, like I said, you're never going to have no regrets, right? But it's lessening the anxiety by preparing for what you're trying to do. So for instance, your music, you write your music, you read it over, you lay the tracks, you let people listen to it. And it comes to the point where you're like, okay, this is a good enough project that I feel inside myself that I can send it out to people. Correct? I'm going
that's how it goes.
Then that lessens your anxiety when people listen to it, and you're not like, okay, all right, I really didn't, let me take that back. I'm like, no. So it's kind of like, that's what I feel most of the subject of people should do is like working as hard as possible to get that part or get that section of your life where you're like, okay, this is the best product I can do. It's less anxiety, because I have anxiety about this podcast. Literally, the first episode I did, I had a lapel mic on. We were sitting on somebody's couch. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to put this out there and have people, be like, oh, this is shit. At the end of the day, I had to take my word for myself. I'm like, listen, it's going to be what it is. I think it's the best product I can do at this time. Let me just put it out there. And I'm not saying I'm going to be like Joe Rogan or anything like that, but I'm just saying that to have myself out there and have like something out there that I see as tangible gives me less anxiety than me just like having it in there. I'm just like looking at the minutia of it,
waiting in the wing and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro. Yeah, man. Who do you fuck with podcast wise?
Obviously like? Joe Rogan. These girls that just left. I just talked to them. Lipsticks and Head Wraps and Lipsticks. They're another podcast that has a female take onto it. I go with, of course, Joe Budden. I go with The Read. I go with a lot of things that are not myself, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's really commendable, man.
So it's like The Read is to like queer people that's on there. So I get that perspective. I listen to like a lot of female podcasts, so I get their perspective. And I listen to Joe Rogan. He's a straight white male that does jujitsu.
Bro Rogan right
exactly.
there.
He's a does jujitsu, stuff like that. That I'm into jujitsu. I'm into like UFC. I'm into like fighting and stuff like that, competitive fighting and stuff like that. But also he has a different like mantra of like, for instance, I just listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson, a really important physicist in the United States. So I get a perspective from that. Man, I got so many so many different podcasts. Horrible Decisions. That's another podcast.
I gotta check that. Is that a story like people tell, like testimony type?
No,
thing?
it's
like
actually two girls that's on there that they talk about sexual sex. It's basically about their experiences, stuff like that. So it's also I get their experience and get their understanding of how they tread your life.
I need to do some research on that. Like, I need to learn what girls thinking about in that category.
Exactly. And honestly, it's helped me with my connection with females. Like, just talking to them and be like, "Oh, okay, you like this," and she'd be like, "How you know about that?"
You've been reading the Chico. You got the other Steve Harvey book, like you know what I'm saying, like.
The important about that movie was that when the girls found that book, if they didn't find that book, that movie would be completely different. They would always be under that shroud. I don't know if you saw the movie.
But isn't it based on the book though?
But at the end, they find the book and they understand that the men are trying to play them with the book. I mean, the women are trying to play them with the book.
So did Steve Harvey get a check or nah?
Yeah, you get that check.
I hope so.
Are you crazy?
It's my nigga. Steve Harvey. Even though the most untalked about thing about Steve Harvey is what I like the most is goddamn the Steve Harvey show.
I was about to.
Nobody talking about that. I love that shit, bro.
His daughter, but
let me check it out. Let me Google.
You ever seen his daughter?
Nah, man.
Laura Harvey?
I gotta check her out.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure she's young and with money. I'm pretty sure she don't look bad.
Not at all.
Let me stop.
But no, Steve Harvey's show was the Bullet Head and Romeo.
Yeah, man.
R.I.P. to Romeo.
Man. No, that was crazy.
That was
bro.
crazy.
You get too much pussy, bro. Yeah, pussy problems, bro. Is that how you? Is that a way that is not saying his way, but it's like, if you're gonna get murdered, would you rather get murdered? I was actually talking to a girl about this. That I'm talking to got kind of a little hot because we were talking about like.
I like when they get hot.
Bro, yeah. You know what I'm saying? She was like, yo, would you. She was like, she just said something about like some species or something kill, females kill the mate after like.
Black widow?
Yeah, after like sex.
Or the praying mantis.
Praying mantis, and I was like, if you kill me after we had sex, like actually that's not a bad way to die. Way to go. Just say, look at a beautiful woman, just do it quickly and swiftly. I just had a great time. If I'm going to die, what do I live to be 65, have a lot of shitty moments? Or do I just live in this moment after coming, just take me away. It's not that bad.
This is not that bad at all. Top 3 ways I want to die.
That I would put that top 3 ways to be killed by my lover swiftly right afterwards without me having any understanding or suspicion prior.
Oh, so you don't know that they're going to end you?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to no, because then I'm just uneasy. That's when you're just in a bad relationship. When you know she wants to kill you, of course, that's a bad relationship. But if it's some crazy, wild other shit, she kills you after y'all fuck and y'all thought shit was good. It's not great. It's not bad.
So what was her negative comments about that?
No, she actually thought it was hot too. That's why we're a good match.
There we go.
But I don't think we're gonna harm each other. I think we're just,
Are you okay?
Man, I think it's good.
Are you okay?
I wrote a damn song called Weird Awesome.
Are
so it's
you okay?
Oh, am I okay? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm good. No, right. We're all good. No. I mean, it's just that's kind of my sense of humor, man. It's been a hard thing to grapple with sometimes.
No.
But
I'm 100% into dark humor.
Dark humor. Yes, let's go, man.
We can go there.
Because we could go for another hour talking about Dave Chappelle. We could get in there.
No, you don't want.
Oh, you probably don't think the way I think because you
love Dave Chappelle.
No, I love that shit, bro.
Yeah. Love Dave Chappelle.
But let's not get too into that so we get in trouble.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. But I like that dark shit.
So there's another. So to that question, here's a question.
I feel like I'm yelling too much.
No. Here's a question to that. Would you rather kill a baby?
Never. So no. So give me what I gotta do, and let me see if I fuck myself up. Don't want to kill a baby, unless we were getting an abortion and it's my baby. I know it sounds bad, but if she wants to get an abortion and I don't want to have a baby, I guess we'd be killing the baby, and that would be something that I guess I would do.
Or would you eat brains?
Oh, dog. I mean, brains. What the fuck? Hell yeah. Kill a baby or eat brains. I hope everybody is got the bib ready, man.
Some people are not. You will listen.
No pun intended.
So to the point, so to the next section of the podcast, we spoke about a lot about different subjects. One thing we spoke about is love, life, and laughter, right? Mm-hmm. So one thing about you talked about kind of your love. We talked about your love for music, and your life. What is your meaning of life? Your personal meaning of life? Oh. Not the meaning of life, because I think that makes it a little people unsteady. It's like, I don't know what the fucking meaning of life is, but what is your meaning of life?
Meaning of life is to do what you want to do till you die. I feel like every decision that we make should be what we want to do. Mm-hmm. Even the hard ones are because we have to make it rooted in something that we want to have happen, and it's something that has to get done, right? Yep. So, life is about doing what the fuck you want to do. And that's it, man. Is there another part to that question? I thought
Well, another part is, if you had a magic wand, what would you add to the world, and what would you take away from the world?
Man, I wish I could give you an interesting question, answer, but I wouldn't change shit.
The answer from you is interesting.
I wouldn't change shit. You wouldn't change
nothing?
Nah, man, because I feel like
everything happens for a reason.
I mean, that's the easy, boring way to say it, but it's like,
okay.
But I feel like there's more there's always magic going on in this world that I don't understand, and I'm still learning it. And I feel like I probably will die still trying to learn. And I feel like when I die, it's not the end of me. I'm still going through this journey of learning this whole, how everything works. So I think it kind of does go into we were talking about some of those movies where it talks about having control.
Yes.
I think of Bruce Almighty, but we weren't talking about that particular one. We were talking about what?
Control over somebody? Was it the one with Michael B. Jordan movie?
I don't know, man, but I do feel like if you start, we were talking about click.
Ah, yeah.
Click.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So it's I do feel like at some point there's that quotient of you being of this thing. You don't have the capacity to take anything out of it because it's you're not without of it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it's I feel like there's always going to be a quotient at some point where it's a fault line.
Gotcha.
And I'll leave that to the pros, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know who or what that pro is, but I do feel like there's a designer and we are in the design. So I'm not really in the business of changing the design. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I try to understand the design more and more, and I do understand that, I have a soul and I have a will. So I just try to merge my will with my understanding of the design.
Gotcha. That makes 100% sense.
And then don't cry if I lose. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I keep trying.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, I kind of mirror that kind of understanding is if you want to take away from this world, you haven't even understood the complexities of what gravity is. We as a people, we know gravity puts this cup on this table, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we don't know why it does it. Yeah. Or if in another planet, if this cup is not on the ground, it's flowing like this, why that happens?
We don't know.
Exactly. And there's so many why is air more important to us? There's so many things that we can learn and so many magics and even the magic with just childbirth, something becoming there's nothing, then there's something.
And this whole living robot grows inside of you.
Factory that we have.
You know what I'm saying? It's and that you saying that makes me think of this great line, and I wish I'll take this time to say why Nas is my favorite rapper. It's not just Nas a great lyricist. No, Nas has taken commercial fucking risks with being a premier rap artist from New York. Because you got to think about it. When you think about these rap artists from New York in the 90s, they're like the Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. They're like the buzzwords that is the spawn of the whole canon, right?
Yep.
So like this dude is always going to be the shit. And at that time, like he made a project called Nigger.
Yep.
And if you listen to it, you know, you'll see you'll hear the things that's on his mind. You know what I'm saying? Yep. He'll make a project called Hip Hop Is Dead. He'll have a song called I Can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or he'll do that song with his pops. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I always fuck with him is that he always he's a risk taker. And I say that to say, because from what you just said, as far as like what we don't know, Nas has a line where he says, "You don't know how high the sky is, the square mileage of earth, or what pi is." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so like, yeah.
There's so much to even like that to even think to that same kind of detriment is like, that's going to be a question forever and ever and ever and ever until somebody comes down and tells us like, that's what it is. And then you'll be like, huh?
Like, huh? Yeah. I want to totally agree, but at the same time, we could get like, who the fuck? But yeah, I do feel, you know, not who cares, but like, who knows? Maybe we will invent a way to know how high the sky is, but I don't know. But I don't know. At the same time, it's like, yeah, man, this life, I feel like so much of life, like when I said what you want, life is what you want. Like what you think is right is really what you want. Gotcha. What you think is wrong is really what you don't want.
To create your own aspect of what life is by the things that you value.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And believe in your values. You know, identify and like understand what your values are. Decide. You know, even if you believe that you can change your values and if that's how you feel, but like believe in your values. Like I'm not mad at nobody, or I try not to be. I take shit personally a lot, but I try not to be mad at nobody, even if they don't like me, you know what I'm saying? Or if they don't understand, if they don't understand me. So I feel like if we did a lot more of that, you know, I feel like life would be a lot simpler and I think we'd be happier. You know, and I think that's what folk rap kind of centers around. It centers around enjoying life and having a good time and just kind of like valuing what you value, you know, and not really talking about, okay, what is the standard of cool now? Okay, I'm going to put that in my raps. Oh, I got the Wraith. You know, not even just like what's popular to have, but it's just like this popular shit to say. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be that. It could be whatever the fuck you want it to be and still be hot.
Exactly.
You know?
So as far as, to make it a little bit lighter, to bring it a little bit down, because life gets very muddy because it's a lot of heaviness into it. What makes you laugh? What is like we talked about dark humor. Yeah. What is the hardest time you've laughed?
Ooh, you know what? I can just think of like Dave Chappelle, the Chappelle Show. That's like there's a canon of Dave Chappelle experiences that I can say are those laugh hard because, from the Dave Chappelle Show, watching it as a young person, to Killing Them Softly, that special.
One of my favorites.
I remember going over to my friend's house and they had gotten pay-per-view the Live at the Fillmore, and watching that and just thinking that, man, like this is just genius and side splitting for me. So like, I like Dave Chappelle because I feel like we're kind of from a similar kind of like
cloth.
Yeah, cloth and kind of like social experience. Like,
okay.
He's kind of like cultured or whatever, like,
He's been doing that since he was like 14, 15 or something like that.
Yeah, he had he talks about like going over to his white friend's house. Like he's the black guy with white friends. You know, like a lot of the stories. So it's like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a black guy with white friends and shit. Like and I would relate to the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I guess he was the just right. He was so black, but he wasn't like street, which I might have wanted to kind of be or identify, but I just wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But he's a fucking genius. He didn't have to like change who he was, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the people that I like or identify with are like that. Like from him to like Chuck Berry to like Jimi Hendrix. And that's kind of like where I feel like I kind of fall into. I'm just kind of like different, polite, you know what I'm saying? But not a pussy, but just, you know, overall, real expressive dude, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about those guys, you know what I'm saying?
And I think you come to a really important point, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but as far as like being a black man and thinking that you only need the experience of being in a black circumstance is kind of limiting to our knowledge base. Because I think one thing, and I luckily grew up in New York where that shit is like, you have to. Like, you're going to see an Asian person, you're going to see a Puerto Rican person, you're going to see, you know, a Caribbean person, you're going to see somebody from, you know, Germany or stuff like that. Because literally, you get the interaction on the train at 7:30 in the morning, trying to go point A to point B. So I think that it's important that we all, as not just black people, but as people in general, have that circle of experiences. So and this is the reason I did the podcast as well, to have a circle of experiences that we can grow upon. Because goddamn, I love some Japanese food. you know what I'm saying?
Great segue. Like, I love that.
I love some Japanese food. So it's like, I couldn't have that experience or know about that unless I went to, you know, Chinatown in New York, or went to, you know, broaden my horizons, being able to sit down with people that are not like me. Even like and that's why I think the problem is right now is people just want to be inside their little bubbles and not getting those outward experiences that you're going to be a part of, regardless of you think or not. That what life is that shit gonna touch you regardless. So you just got to be a part of it and understand it. You don't have to be like all into it, but to have white friends and understand what white people do is like, hey, they don't wash their legs. Okay, I do. Hey, John, you need to wash your legs, bro.
They don't wash their legs.
You hear about that?
I love that. I love that. Yo, and that's another thing. I like stereotypical. But no, I do. I feel like we have to have the opportunity. We have to have the ability to see each other's as mirrors, because that's really what we are. Like, we're mirrors to each other, and life will be a lot more fun. I feel if once we hone into that, and I feel like to talk about the recent Dave Chappelle special, I feel like that's what he was trying to get at.
Yes,
with what he said, but like I almost fucked the date up. Giving my take on that. So that's all I'll say.
All righty then. Okay. Again, NiGE, thanks again. This can't stop at here. I think this is a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think you kind of have the same kind of vibe. We can talk movies all day, and I definitely want to talk more about the Dave Chappelle special. Because
if you're trying to do some movie critique episodes, I'm here, bro. All right. I'll be listening. Let Chris tell you, I just came from listening to I had him listening to the Rewatchables.
Yes.
I didn't talk about my podcast. I got a list for you.
I was gonna say Drew as well. How did this get made?
Oh, you know what? I have listened. It's just not enough movies on there that I've seen, because it's more enjoyable if I've seen it.
Exactly.
But I did listen to their take on Action Jackson.
Yes,
which I just loved it. I had an understanding of Carl Weathers and shit, but yeah. So okay, yeah.
Definitely, you know what I'm saying? If you get a chance.
Paul Shears, he also does Unspooled, right? Yeah. I like that bald-headed dude.
He's also on Fresh in the Boat. Fresh off the boat.
Yeah, he plays a dimwit. Yeah. He plays great dimwits, man. Which is so crazy because he's intelligent.
Very, very, very smart. And have you seen his wife?
She hot?
Is a 10. And he's like a 3.
Yo, this is like we gotta have like a Black Nerd Man show. That's what we gotta have, bro. Like,
I think, yeah.
Yo, we gotta,
talk about anime. We can go into a bunch of different stuff.
I got to bring my little brother on. I'll bring my little brother on for the anime.
Oh yeah, we can have a nice long conversation about that. But so tell them where you're gonna be. Tell them all your Instagrams, your Facebooks, all your promo, anything you want to get out there, where you're going to be at, what food you eat, whatever.
Yeah, all right, so I'm going to be performing at the Canvas Tattoo Gallery and Shop on September 14th. It's going to be, it's a benefit concert. For LGBT youth. Called Born This Way. I'll be performing out there. And I'm also going to be performing on September 29th. I got to get the details, but as far as the location, it's there, but I'm retarded and I don't have it prepared.
I think that word is problematic. Continue.
Yeah. Basically, September 29th, I'm going to be performing at a benefit concert for my good friend Michael Williams, who got in a car accident, and we're kind of like, helping to pay for his stuff and everything like that. Oh, man. Yeah, man. But also, this week coming up, I'm going to be dropping the Weird Awesome EP on September 11th. That's this Wednesday coming up. So it's going to be...
Great day to drop an album.
I kind of keep buzzword, but, I don't know, man.
Okay.
They're going to be ascending on me with the pitchforks. But I'm going to be dropping that. And it's 6 tracks. It includes Weird Awesome, the single. It also includes the single Function. And My Chair, which the video's out. You should check that out on YouTube. Check out My Chair. Check out Weird Awesome. And also check out Function. That's FUNKSHUN. All of those videos are on YouTube.
Awesome.
And you can find more of my music on Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming services. Just type in NiGE Hood, NiGEHOOD. And then you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all NiGEHOOD. And I make this thing called folk rap music, which is about daily life and the pursuit of happiness, life in the best of vibes, and just having a good time no matter what.
What's up, man? Thanks again. Thanks for coming on. Your energy is so palpable. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Drew vs. the World. If you want to catch us on Instagram at Drew vs. World Podcast. Also, we're on, if you want to send any questions, listener letters, or anything you want to talk about, it's drew.versus.world@gmail.com. Also, shirts is coming soon. I swear to God, shirts is coming soon. And it'll be out to all our guests whenever they come out. Hopefully it comes out before it gets cold, so I don't have t-shirts out in winter. So this has been another episode of Drew vs. the World. Peace and chicken grease.